Welcome to the Ben Daniel Podcast, where we're calling a spade. Great to be here with you guys today. Before we get into the video, let me know in the comment section below, heading into next season, what are your top 4 teams heading into the 2025 WNBA season? Fever, Lynx, Liberty, that 4th team up for a lot of debate in my mind. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, some of the OGs know about that. Caitlin Clark's return to Iowa City, preseason basketball, Indiana Fever versus the Brazilian national team, merely an exhibition game taking place the day before Cinco de Mayo. Tickets go on sale. 40 minutes later, tickets sold out. Caitlin Clark's triumphant return to Carver Hawkeye Arena already sold out. I am already getting nauseous at the thought of what some of these resale ticket prices are going to be. I am already sick at the idea of some of these resellers about to charge $2,000 for nosebleed seats because this is going to be one of the hottest games in the history of the WNBA, and it's a preseason game. How crazy is that? Not only do we have that on the Indiana Fever front, but the owner of the Washington Mystics must have seen how fast tickets were flying off the shelves for that Carver Hawkeye Arena game and said, you know what? Instead of playing in this small 4,200 seat gym, I can't even call it an arena, entertainment center, instead of playing in this little TP hut, let's move it to the big boy arena. Let's go to CFG Bank Arena over there in Baltimore. Why isn't it going on in the Capital One Arena? It's getting renovated. And it is due for a renovation. Let's be honest. It is due for a renovation. However, if you live in DC, if you live in Washington, that trek to Baltimore, not the most fun. Not the most, but I digress. Sheila Johnson said, hey, if everybody's gonna milk this Caitlin Clark thing and get paid off of her appearing in their state, might as well be me too. Salute to you. What are we talking about today? Lexie Brown. Lexie Brown goes on and talks about some of the narrative of players not wanting to go to the Indiana Fever, players not wanting to go with Caitlin Clark. Now, I need to be honest, throughout the season, maybe the chatter, I didn't hear it too much. Maybe I didn't do it too much on this channel. It seemed like the narrative of players not wanting to go play with Caitlin. Let's see what she has to say first.
But you got to think, if you have the opportunity, like even if Indiana needed a center, they're not overlooking Caitlin Clark. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like you got to, if it depends on if it's a generational type of talent or if it's like, if you can sacrifice that for something that can help you right now, I think it makes sense to sacrifice that. It just depends on the needs of the team.
Exactly.
But there are some players who surpass needs of the team.
No, yeah. And she was one of them. And I think that they made the right call on that because they knew her play would attract better players to Indiana. Like, it's been hard for them to get players to sign to Indiana because they're in Indiana. And because those games typically were very empty. There was no energy behind the Fever since they won their championships when Tamika Catchings was there. So Caitlin has basically come in and rejuvenated the entire franchise. And now it's an attractive place for free agents to come. And I think that long term, they were thinking about that. I don't know what other people were thinking of, no one was going to go there with her and they're not going to want to play with someone like that. But like, why would you not want to play with somebody like that? Like,
that don't make no sense.
Let's not be dumb here. Like, we're all basketball players at the end of the day. I want to win.
Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Lexie Brown, salute to you for saying, as a player, of course I want to play with Caitlin Clark. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't say, well, to be fair here, it wasn't just the Indiana Fever that had low attendance. The whole league had no attendance. The whole league nobody was interested in. Not just the Fever, the Sparks, the Sun, the Mercury, the Liberty, the Lynx, the Dream, the Storm, what? The Mystics, what? The Dallas Wings, what? If you know, you know. The whole league, nobody gave a hoot about. The Chicago Sky, what? Nobody gave a hoot about. So it's not Indiana Fever centric that, oh, the excitement was the whole league. But Caitlin Clark, I don't know where this narrative came where people didn't want to play with Caitlin Clark, well, people didn't want to play with Indiana. Huh. Do you know where this narrative really started? Yeah, the fans are gonna fan. The fans are gonna talk their trash. They're gonna do what fans do. I'm not gonna blame the fans for starting this narrative. We're going to blame the players in this league that started this narrative. Maybe I did and I don't remember. I don't really recall saying, oh, who wouldn't want to play with Caitlin Clark and her playmaking ability? Who wouldn't want to play with Caitlin Clark and all of the gravity that she brings? Who wouldn't? If I said that, I give you guys permission to reach through your screen right now. Just slap me as hard as you possibly can. As hard as you possibly. If those words that came out of my mouth, just slap, shout out to Rush Hour, just slap me as hard as you can. Because what I recall, the reason why people didn't want to play with Caitlin Clark or play on the Indiana Fever is because of players like Dejanay Carrington, players like Kennedy Carter and Angel Reese, players like Alyssa Thomas, players like Brianna, players like that called the fan base and her supporters racist, bigots, misogynists, xenophobes, homophobes, and racist the entire year. That's why people were saying, who wants to play with Indiana? Who wants to play over there with Caitlin Clark? Her fans are crazy. Her fans are racist. Her fans, they don't even know the WNBA. They've been too busy watching the NBA. They don't even know the WNBA. That's where the narrative of players not wanting to go play with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever started. Fans will fan. But players talking to each other, players going out in the media saying, I hereby declare the Indiana Fever fan base racist. That's where the narrative, and I love how we just want to gloss over that. We're going to do this revision. Oh, people didn't want to play with Caitlin. I don't know where that came from. Well, from a skill perspective, nobody actually argued that. From a basketball logic perspective, nobody actually argued that. It was this argument, this argument right here that you guys forced down everybody's throat all year long. That's where the narrative came. It's tough. It would be nice if we could just all forget, right? If we could all just play along. Oh, I'm going to play along. Oh, yeah. That is what happened last season. They were saying, who wants to play with Caitlin Clark? She's such a great player. Look how good she's making Kelsey Mitchell. Look how good she's making Lexie Hall. Look how good she's making Aaliyah Boston. Look how good she's making Damiris Dantas look. Oh, my. Who would actually argue that? Sounds like idiots to me. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I appreciate all of the support. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. We'll see you next time, and as always, take it easy.